Hello, everyone. This is Laura K. Ellis, wishing all of you a wonderful, productive, and healthy 2023. I am a multi-certified hypnotherapist and transformational life coach. Been practicing now 13 years, and I want to talk to you all today about personal power and development. I've had more than my share of clients that come to me that obviously, or it is obvious to me, are disempowered. They feel disempowered. And I must say a majority of them are women. That's what the universe brings me. And so I take every client, every unique situation seriously. But it's interesting to me, and always has been, excuse me, that seemingly, or not, women have been disempowered for centuries. And when I was a young girl, back in the 60s, very young, back in the 60s I might add, it seemed universal, status quo or appropriate, for women to be stay-at-home moms, which is a good thing, and the husband or mate, mostly husband back then, was the rock of the household, so to speak, or certainly was made to be viewed that way. And so, of course, the male goes out to work and he brings home the bacon, and the majority of women were stay-at-home moms, taking care and hopefully good care of the little ones, their children. And all seemed to be going quite well, really, at least from my little girl mind and perspective. The neighbors seemed to be happy and healthy, and everyone working together. However, there was an underlying current that wasn't spoken about very much. And that was, and still is today, spousal abuse. Yes, I understand that it can be also the woman being abusive and manipulative to the man, the husband or partner. But a greater percentage of the time it is the other way around. And the male, of course, men are physically stronger. Now, why is that? Well, from what I know, we pattern, and I've spoken about this before, behavior that we viewed and were subjected to, behaviors, plural on that, when we were little, before the age of 10. So women then, and many today on a different level, are patterning habits of mind picked up from their parents and or primary caretakers. And back then, okay, in the 60s and the 70s, 50s, I don't know much beyond that, but I'm speculating now that this has been ongoing for, as I said earlier, centuries. Its history shows that. But in any case, women are taught that, or were, that they just couldn't function basically on their own without the man bringing home the bacon. so to speak, which wasn't true at all. And then in the 70s, I know there was the women's lib aspect, and the world is changing, and so women were going to work, still not getting paid as they should have, and in many instances, even still today. But my point being that it's been a collective mindset for centuries that women aren't good enough to go to work, to earn more money, to be a solo parent, to be the better wife, to be strong, independent, and beautiful, which we as women are more than capable of doing it all. And we're showing that today. We're displaying that today. However, back to individuals today, women primarily, that are feeling disempowered. They're only patterning what their mother and or father had displayed to them. So for example, if your mother was submissive, and many cultures still endorse that, by the way, for the woman to be submissive to the husband. In fact, there were some passages written in the Bible that refer to that, depending on which edition you're reading upon. But again, you know, the Bible was written by men primarily, right? And of course, many stories in the Bible aren't truth, yet many are. And there are a lot of codes in the Bible that need to be understood properly. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So getting back to the patterns of mind. So the women today have been taught unconsciously that they can't function without the male in the household. They can't provide for themselves and the children without the male's input. And therefore they're feeling like failures, like they can't do this. They just can't handle it. They're just not good enough. And oftentimes alcohol's involved, and or pharmaceutical drugs, and the list goes on and on and on, which, by the way, being dumbed down never cured anything, right? We weren't created for that. We were created to be strong warrior princesses and princes. So with clear minds, we need to be clear in our mind first and foremost, awareness first and foremost. And that's what I do in my practice. I bring awareness to the individuals first, most important. But anyway, going back to what I was trying to make a point of today, you've been conditioned, women primarily, in this particular instance, have been conditioned, not your fault, taken in at an early age, that you just can't function alone. You can't function alone without a male figure. And the sad news is, many women don't, they have a loss of self-esteem through poor relationships that they've attracted. Again, by default, that's patterned also, could go back 2 to 3 generations. But they can't seem to break free. They feel stuck. The reason they feel stuck is because of the unconscious conditioning. And that needs to be addressed at the root cause. But aside from all of that, going back to being self-empowered, it's absolutely possible. And I absolutely believe, and have proven it through the last 13 years, that you can be, do, and have anything that you choose to be, despite patterns and habits of mind picked up on by default in your past. Okay? We as women are very strong, complex beings. And if you really want to think about it, which many people take for granted, we bring children forth from our womb. human beings. And then we feed them from our bodies. That's a miracle in itself, is it not? Okay. So, in order to break the cycle, again, more often by default, not your fault, okay? You need to first take a step forward in faith and trust in yourself and in the process and in the higher power, the universal source, creative energy, God, however you want to refer to it as being comfortable with anyway. And as well as that, start looking towards and reading about women who have conquered these challenges and overcome these challenges of self-doubt. Because the truth is, you absolutely can, again, be, do, and have anything you choose to be, despite patterns and habits from the past. Breaking free from dysfunctional relationships, okay, that you've attracted by default. No one deserves to be disrespected unless you disrespect yourself. I'm going to leave a link, hopefully, below, and you can obtain a free ebook that I've written on the difference between love and needing. And it'll be yours. All you need to do is just go to the link and you can download it. It's a very short, I say very short, it's informative and short, and I'm sure you'll have your eyes opened a little bit more reading it. And again, it's free to all who choose to obtain it. But for now, I'm going to sign off, and I wish you all a great rest of the month, really. And I will get back here as soon as possible, as soon as I'm able. And otherwise, take good care from now. Peace, everyone.